So if you want to see the slides that are available on our webpage in docs. Okay, so the same. Now just first information. Okay, that idea is about 60 minutes just lecture because we have projectors, so I will do something about Java. Then we can go to the laboratory because, well, everyone has a computer, and there are some practical exercises. So it's much better to do on a computer than just virtual math. Okay, so overview. What is Java? Java is a platform, and of course, modern, still modern. Scala is maybe newest programming language, but Java is still very popular, still modern, objective programming language. Java, as you know, was developed by Sun Microsystems, that was bought by Oracle, and now Oracle is responsible for Java. Okay, just some features. You know that is the most interesting in that list is that it's portable, so you can create your application and run on different platforms. Of course, Java Virtual Machine, the layer between your application and operating system must be installed. Okay. Okay. Now. Thank you. Next, you can download, of course, from Oracle. How to do that is step by step shown in my webpage in X.1. When we are talking about Java, you should know that it's meaning specification and implementation. Of course, specification, I mean information how different vendors must prepare and implement some libraries for the Java virtual machine. And of course, Java is implementation, instead meaning implementation of Sun and now of Oracle. Okay, you will see that according to specification, there are three different platforms: Java Platform Standard Edition, Enterprise Edition, second one, and the third one is Micro Edition. First, you will see the link where you can go and show more detailed information about each platform. There are some specifications with number and information shortly in this slide about the description of it. So Java Standard Edition in 60 GS code. Okay. We will start and we will use the Java Platform Standard Edition implementation by Oracle during all our exercises. So in this platform there is specification of Java Virtual Machine and of course of some libraries. Libraries associated with Java Virtual Machine. Now we can see different versions of different implementations name of the standard edition. Hotspot is the name of the implementation provided by Oracle. J9 from IBM. Discontinued is a version done by Macintosh, so now we are using also Oracle. And Dalvik, tomorrow I will tell something about applications for Android. So you will see that Dalvik is not just Java Standard Edition nor Java Micro Edition. It is another implementation with some elements taken from specification of Java Platform Standard Edition plus some Google extras. So it's not the same. So that swing for practice is not supported in Delhi. Google implementation. Okay, just historical information about it. I think it's very interesting now see what is the name of hotspots implementations. Each version has different names. JDK 1.0, JDK, J2 Standard Edition 1.2, and now Java Standard Edition 7 and Java Standard Edition 8. So different names, but the meaning is the same. So you will see on the web page that you can download JDK, Java Development Kit, or Java Runtime Environment, two versions of Java Runtime Environment. So if you want to create some programs, Java Runtime Environment is not enough, okay? Because it's a Java virtual machine plus some packages, but without any tools for programmers. So JDK is only one decision for you to download. Okay. The information how one is involved in two is shown here. So Java Runtime Environment, to the layer of Java Web Server, applet plugins, okay? And up to this is also some tools for programmers to create jars, packages for compressed for applets, for instance, or just applications. Is much better than just set of classes. Some elements like ideal, I talked about it previously. RMI for remote method invocation, or also for distributed programming, etc. So many different tools for you if you want to create some programs in Java. Okay, so to summarize, specific Java packages, some tools for compiling, etc. Diagnostic, debugging. In JDK, you will find different packages, and the name of these packages, full name is shown here. So server, 2D graphics, Java security, RMI, swing, etc. So information, it is just some part of packages available in JDK. Tools you will use, generally Java-C, because it's Java compiler, okay? It's only in JDK. Java is application launcher, so you can start your application using Java. If you want to create documentation from source code, JavaDoc is a very good application. You don't need to create it on your own, but using some comments, you can after that start JavaDoc, and JavaDoc will create some HTML sample files with documentation that is the same like documentations provided by Oracle. Okay, jar for compressed archives, etc. Applet viewer. When you want to create applet and to embed it in the web page, the best idea sometimes, not always, but very good idea is to test your applet in applet viewer before you will do it in your browser. Because sometimes the problem with the applet is not from Java, okay, from your code, but from some settings of your browser or communication browser to Java applet plugin. Java plugin for applets. Okay. How you can start application. So this slide is available, so maybe today you can go back to the slide and on your own to follow it. Okay, how to download is on my webpage, so in the next part we'll try to install it. Okay, at specification, so JavaDoc will create specification like maybe not in this page. It is, in my opinion, it was better. Now it looks something like that. It's from 7, so 8 is similar. So some person responsible for graphical interface decided that it looks better. I prefer this. It's simpler, but it's up to you. Okay, the address for documentation for API of classes is very simple. Download.oracle.com, Java Standard Edition, /708 dots and app. So it's easy to remember. Okay. So now it was time for our exercises, but because we will go later for that, I will do something a little now about application and applets, how we can use application and how we can use applets. So, okay, maybe it's not very interesting for you if you know something about classes, but if you are not very, if Java is your first language mainly, okay, you should know that the class is just kind of structure that represents some entity like in real world, yes? So we can, especially in different, in Java or other objective languages, distinguish methods and fields, okay? Fields for some features, like colors, size of something, okay? And methods to do some operation on object, that is the instance of the class, okay? Just philosophy of objective programming. Okay. Classes can inherit, okay, vertically one from another, okay? Or include some object instances of another classes, like here. So we know that we can put some special features or methods for shape into the class called shape, and circle, square, and triangle can inherit from shape. All these features will be available in all these classes, but we can add some extra methods. Okay. Also, we can change the meaning, how the method will work. So we can override by adding the method that has the same name like in the this Apple class, in this case shape. Much better is to practice it, of course. Okay, some idea how we can do that, so we can do some changes. Another idea is computer class that have some 3 or 4 fields: monitor, scanner, CPU, and keyboard. And here, these fields are objects of different classes. Okay? So we can build our structure like in real world: car, engine, etc. Okay, so now when we want to see the structure of class, we will see in classes constructors, methods, and fields. Constructor is also a kind of method that will start at the beginning when the object is created. Okay? Idea how we can do that. The most important, if you are not familiar with Java, is the car city. Okay, means the reference name for future object. It is just a reference. It is not like okay, it's just reference. It does nothing. Just name. Okay, that we can use for object. The object must be created, and after that, like in free number, we can associate the reference with object. It means that we don't need to use object, we don't need to have reference. Or we can have many references to one object. It is similar to Linux or hard Linux, yes? Just name and some structure on disk. Okay, and methods. Methods must be called only on object, of course, if it's not static. So C is just object, reference, associated with object. We can simply call it object. So C is the object line. So we can use start method, call on the C object. Sometimes we don't need to create this reference. We can just create the object, new car, is object, anonymous object, not associated with the name. So we can, in this line, this object will exist. We can access it, dot, and the name of the method. Okay. And fields. Generally, equals operator means that we can put some value into this field. Here, in this case, it's just integer value. Well, interesting element is that in Java also we have strings. So string is the object of string class, and association is done like this. So we don't need to use new string and some parameter done sent to the constructor in this braces. Also, you should know that in this case, the string is created and associated with the student name field. But if you want to, like in previous example, use new operator, new string. So two strings will be created. One because of this structure, like here, and the second because it is string sent to constructor of string. So the second string object is created. Doesn't make sense. So this is only one possibility for string. Okay, public, private, protected fields. Everything in Java could be public, private, protected, and of course association to class or to object is done by static word. Okay? So when we want to create a class that could be used not only from this package, but from out also this package, so class must be public. So public class and the name of the class. Now we can carry braces, and into this area we can add constructors, fields, and methods. The most important in Java is that the name of the class must be the same like the name of the file plus extension of Java. Okay, so capital letters are also, there's also difference. In Windows, sometimes students told me that they can, like here, use the name my first class only from small letters. And successfully it could be compiled in Windows, but they cannot start it, okay? Because the problem is with the letters, different name. So big letter, capital letter, small letter, it's completely different name. Different characters, different name. Okay. In this example, you will see public, my first class, is constructor. So there is no returning value, there is not enough information. This constructor is public. It means that user can use new operator to create the object using, in this case, this my first class constructor. Okay? Sometimes when we don't need to create a special constructor, you don't need to add constructor to your code. In this case, Java will create the constructor also. So we can create the object. But if you want not to allow user to create an object using new operator, the only one idea is to create, of course, constructor, but not public, but private. So user cannot create an object using new operator. Okay? It's really good for some singletons. You can have one object for like driver, one point to access some resources. Log4j, that is also the part of this course, is created in this way. Private fields, some methods. To start an application, we should create the main method. And the main method is not associated with object. So this is example also of a static method. So static means that we can call the method using the name of the class. My first class .main. So Java virtual machine will start the application by calling the main method. That must be public, available from outside. Static, we don't need to create the object to run it. Void, no value is returning. Main, of course, it is value C. And string braces is a parameters sent to the program from command. Okay? Also in one exercise, we will have a chance to practice it. Okay. When you want to see just hello, it's the simplest application, I think, but you can see something on your console. So you have called this method. What is the meaning? This is a string that will be displayed in the console. Print line is the method. Out and system. What is system? The idea in Java is that name of classes will start from capital letter. So this is system is a class. .out means that, of course, out is the name. No braces here, so we know that is a field. So out is a field, public, of course, because we can access from outside, from like this way. System.out is just a field, out is a field in system class, and next dot means that on this field, it must be object, we can call the method called printline. When you will go to documentation, you will see that system.out, system.r, and system.in are just strings. So class fields that are objects, that are instances of the strings. Okay, standard output for errors, and standard for incoming stream of data. Okay, system.in. You will see that is a print stream. For that, print stream is also for system.r, and input stream is stream for data, and this is associated with keyboard. While out and R are associated with console. So all data will be sent directly to console. Okay. What else? How to create your first application? Everything must be stored in my first class.java class. This is the code. Then you can compile it using compiler, Java-C. If everything is okay, the new file will be created, which is just beta code. The structure that can be transferred to different platforms and run in Java virtual machine. To run it, you have called Java launcher by calling Java, followed by the name of the class. But you will see that the difference is that we can compile file, consists of some source code, yes, but we are starting the application. Application means we are starting the class, not the file. So there is no extension after the name of my first class is the name of the class, not just dot class, because we are not starting file, we are starting class. That's just kind of philosophy in that. Okay, another exercise, so we'll go back to this later. What could be added to the Java programs? Package declaration is not needed, of course. Input declaration also don't need it, and of course definition of the class. So, okay. Some example how to do this, how to use package declaration and import declarations is shown on the example of applets. Applets maybe are not very popular now, but it's good to know something, very short information about applets. Okay, so the most important is that when we want to create the applet, we have to extend, inherit from the applet class. The applet class is stored in java.applet package. So now we will see that the classes are stored in packages. Organization of packages means just folders or directories. So somewhere is Java folder, subfolder is applet, and into this subfolder there is a applet.class file. So this is beta code for applet class. My first class, public class, my first applet is applet because all functionality is taken by this inheritance. Extends applet. Okay, so now my first applet is also applet. Like the triangle inherits from shapes, so all triangles are also shapes. Okay? What is the meaning of the input? The meaning is to show what the short name, in this case applet, means. So applet means now the class that is stored in this structure, java.applet. Okay? You don't need to use in that way. You can do this like here. You will see that in public void paint method, there is java.wt.graphics. Of course, you can add the line import java.wt.graphics semicolon, and now in this paint method we can just use short graphics, name of the class. But if you don't need to do that, you can do in that way also. So, what is the idea? Like main method is the first method that will be called from Java view to one machine to start the application. Paint method will be called when the applet is started, because applet is just kind of area, yes, in the web page, and when we want to write something, onto image or text, so the paint method must be called, and the system will send as parameter object of graphics. This object is just representation of this area. So now we have access to graphics to the area J, and on this object we can call drawString methods, and it means that we want to put the hello text in specific place. How many pixels? Horizontally and vertically. This bottom part of this text. Okay, so this is the code of applet. But you know that the applet is not just application that could be started on your own by calling the launcher, but must be embedded into the web page. So to do that, you must create the HTML file. Okay? So the most important is to put into body tags the applet tags with information code. Now you must write the name of the file or better code, so with extension.class. Difference Java followed by the name of the class to launch to start the application because you are starting class. But now you are not starting this applet, but you must to write the information to the external Java plugin where the place the file is located. Where is the place of this file? Okay? So this is the name, and this is the size of this area. Okay, so this is the size of the area. When our browser is starting, is access to this applet, the external Java plugin is run, information is passed to the Java plugin, and Java plugin will create the graphics object and send to our applet. Okay? So the size was 150, so 50 pixels from the left to right. This text will be displayed.
Sorry for the interruption. First of all, please say anything about the room you need for your class.
Okay.
Would you like to come again this class in the lab?
It's some
There's no one there. So
okay, so I'll finish it after 10 minutes.
Okay.
Or 15 minutes. We'll finish it and we'll go to the laboratory. Okay. So how to run this applet? The same. You should put everything into my first applet of Java file. The code was shown. Then you can compile it. The my first applet.class file is created. Now you can also create your Java HTML file and using browser, Firefox, Safari, etc. Chrome, you can start this web page. But the best idea also is test it using applet viewer. Applet viewer follows the name, of course, the web page. Okay, that's all. Everything for the applet. Exercises. Okay. Now we can we'll see differences with some comments. So like in C++, we can use comments the same way, but when you want to create the documentation for your source code, you can do this with that way. So it's also a comment, but Javadoc will analyze that structure after this slash and double asterisk. Okay? So everything will be analyzed. How to do it? If you want to create just documentation, you can write something. It doesn't matter. It's PowerPoint. It's just a code. It's a source code. When you will run Javadoc on this source code, the structure will be created, but it will be empty. So everything will be found, public. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 elements will be stored into documentation. Everything that is private is hidden because documentation is for a person that will use this code, your class. So only public elements are available for out of this class. Okay? So this field is here. This is constructor, so 2 constructors also documentation, and on the bottom you will see also empty documentation for get value and set value method. When you want to, it doesn't make sense to do this in that way. So if you want to add something, your code, your comment to your code, you should write the text. And these are special tags for Java doc. Information about author, information about version. Okay? So now, when Java doc will run on this code, information will be added. But test is a class. This is the description. Some information about the version of this class and the author. After that, you will see information about fields. This is comment, but not documenting comment, so no information. And here, information for constructor, param, value, and value. Param is description for parameter. Okay, that is here. The same name, and this is just information, description. In our tags, see return, throws, and deprecated. So if you want to create the class, and in another version some methods are available, but you don't want users to use older methods, you can add deprecated tag into documenting comment. Okay. Information about UX, thinking in Java, and of course some from some Oracle, Core Java Volume 1, fundamentals and advanced features in Volume 2. So these books are really good if you want to go deeply into Java. Okay. Also, there are some tutorials available on the Oracle webpage, so you can download and step by step on your own try to run your application, develop your application from very simple to much more advanced. Tutorial is really good because there are some good examples for different features available in Java. So in Swing, in graphics, there are different components. J-tree for tree, for some number fields, for some internal frames. So in Java tutorial, you will see how you can use these different components. Okay, good example. Okay, so I think that is good to finish now, and we can go to the laboratory. And I think that we can start in 10 minutes. Okay, 12.